What is up, you guys? Your boy Eli is back with another video. Now, let us get straight to the point. Let us not beat around the bush. The Philadelphia 76ers just got bounced out of the second round to the Atlanta Hawks last night. And I'm going to say this right now. This defeat is totally unacceptable. Now, I'm already aware that the regular season seeding means absolutely nothing. But this was a team who clinched the first seed of the Eastern Conference while improving their team on the floor spacing aspect of basketball. And I can guarantee you guys right now that not one NBA fan picked the Atlanta Hawks to win this series unless you're a complete 76ers hater or an Atlanta Hawks fan. The 76ers very well should have won this series, and given that they lost will now involve many big time decisions following this NBA offseason. Make sure you guys like this video and subscribe to the channel. I post NBA controversial videos or even relatable videos that you may enjoy if you are a die-hard NBA fan. And I also post NBA mixes and scouting videos for future draft classes. You guys also have the option to comment down below any future video topics that you may enjoy. But other than that, let us talk about the Philadelphia 76ers, man. All season long, the Philadelphia 76ers, in many eyes, you could say overachieved in their own way within the regular season. I can even admit to myself that I expected the 76ers to finish as the 6th seed of the Eastern Conference simply because I didn't believe in this team. But they did make some changes last offseason to fix glaring problems that may have been lingering from last season. They got rid of a disgusting contract in Al Horford, as well as getting rid of Josh Richardson to implement Seth Curry and Danny Green into the starting five. And these additions to the roster were very beneficial for what the 76ers needed. And then they also fired Brett Brown and replaced him with Doc Rivers, which of course won a championship with the Boston Celtics back in the day and coached a couple other NBA teams. The regular season showed many signs of promise from this young Sixers team, but as you may know, the playoff shows a team's true colors, and that is what happened with the Philadelphia 76ers. Within the NBA playoffs, there are a couple indicators shown from this team that were clear what haunts them during their postseason run. First things first, let us talk about Danny Green. Danny Green is a prolific player to have on a championship roster, as he's already contributed to the Spurs and Raptors championships, and I know he got a lot of hate for the Lakers championship, but he was still there to knock down shots and play defense from time to time. But as you guys may know, he got injured within the second round, having him sidelined for essentially the rest of the series. And if the 76ers won this series, I believe he would have also been sidelined for the conference finals for a select amount of time. Correct me if I'm wrong there. But obviously a player like Danny Green not being there for the 76ers will obviously be a minor loss, but the problems that are currently haunting the 76ers are so much bigger than Danny Green not being able to play. Let us address these problems. I'm sure you guys are already guessing what these problems may be, but I'm just going to say it right now. These problems include both Doc Rivers and of course Ben Simmons. We're going to get to Ben Simmons in just a moment, but first things first, let us talk about Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers started off his coaching career coaching the Orlando Magic, and then he coached the Boston Celtics, the LA Clippers, and now the Philadelphia 76ers. During his time coaching these teams, there were many great moments. As I've already mentioned, he was the coach of a Celtics team who won a championship in 2008, of course having Paul Pierce, Rajon Rondo, Ray Allen, and Kevin Garnett. But he also has a horrible history coaching wise for these playoff teams in general. During my time watching teams being coached by Doc Rivers, which is mainly the LA Clippers and the 76ers, I don't know if it's a complete coincidence, but these teams being coached by him found many ways to blow huge leads within crucial playoff games. As you may know, in game 5 of the second round last season, the LA Clippers had a huge lead while being up 3-1 against the Denver Nuggets, and they of course blew that huge lead while proceeding to blow a 3-1 lead. Now within this postseason, the 76ers blew either a 16 or 18 point lead in game 4, if I can remember either or, and then the next game they blew a 26 point lead and lost both of these games. If the Sixers didn't blow these leads, they would have beaten the Hawks in 5 games, but obviously a completely different outcome occurred. And let us not forget the fact that during his time coaching these teams, there were 3 instances where 3-1 leads were blown. Doc Rivers coached an Orlando Magic team in 2003 where they blew a 3-1 lead to the Detroit Pistons, and then he coached a 2015 and a 2020 Clippers team who blew a 3-1 lead first to the Houston Rockets and then to the Denver Nuggets, as I've already talked about earlier. And during the Atlanta Hawks and 76ers series, there were many questionable rotations coming from this team. Talking about Game 7 in particular, you would assume that coaches will limit the players who play since it's a Game 7, it's do or die, of course. I mean, that's a no-brainer. But last night, Doc Rivers ran a 10-man rotation instead of giving his starting players the most amount of minutes possible. I like Doc Rivers, don't get me wrong, but you have to call it spade for spade. I really don't think it's a total coincidence that every single team he has coached has underachieved in either blowing huge leads or simply not getting to the conference finals, especially when they have the personnel to do so. And then, this is what Doc Rivers had to say about Ben Simmons.
Doc, you think Ben Simmons can still be a point guard for a championship team like the one you guys want to become?
Yeah, David, I don't know that question or the answer to that right now. So I don't know the answer to that.
Now, let us talk about Ben Simmons, man. I always enjoyed watching Ben Simmons play basketball. I always loved how he was a 6'10 player, able to play the point guard position, being a pass-first player who can also rebound and play defense in immaculate fashion. But his problem is his ability to score, and it's not only him just not being able to put the ball in the basket, but it's almost like he is scared to play basketball. I always thought, and I will continue to say, that Ben Simmons is a great basketball player, but he has limitations to his basketball game that will hinder a team to win a championship. He can't shoot the 3-ball or a mid-range, and these are problems that will not fly in today's style of basketball. Going back onto the point of him being scared to score, I'm sure you guys seen this clip a numerous amount of times, but here is a clip of Simmons literally passing up a wide open dunk.
Cleared out for him, backing his way in, spins on Gallinari, gives it up, oh, he was right there, and a foul as Thibault goes to the basket. Boy, Simmons uncontented to the line.
Well, but that's when you know that the game is in your head. That's a dunk for Ben Simmons right there.
I don't know if it's a mental circumstance of Ben Simmons being scared to basically sell his team, or just him thinking too much, but keeping it 100, you can't be a professional basketball player in the NBA who is scared to play the sport that you grew up to play. You can even consider his ability to shoot free throws. Within these playoffs, he shot an all-time low free throw percentage, and this percentage is so low that it is even being considered of Shaq. Yes, Shaq being a better free throw shooter than Ben Simmons. And you know what this means. Yes, during crunch time moments, Ben Simmons will get fouled and forced to the free throw line to break 1 or 2 free throws, aka hack a Simmons. This man is being paid the amount of money he is getting paid, and he isn't even able to play in the final moments of a playoff game because he will get fouled, forced to the free throw line, almost always shooting the 76ers out of the game. And considering this circumstance, this is very absurd. You can't be a max contract player who can't even play in the final moments of a basketball game. We all know Simmons being able to do anything other than score the basketball, which you can even consider scoring isn't the only important thing when it comes to this sport, of course, but it is now coming to a point where everything else Simmons contributes to simply doesn't make up for his lack of scoring. Within the fourth quarter in the last 4 games of this overall series, Ben Simmons dropped a whopping donut, not even putting up a single shot, and this is another huge problem. There are many other clips other than the one I just showed you guys of Simmons passing up easy dunks or layups for teammates attempting tougher shots, and this style of play is totally unacceptable. With that being said, Daryl Morey has some big time decisions to make. I highly doubt Simmons will be traded since I see him being on this team for a very long time, but after these playoffs, Simmons' value is at an all-time low. He is a player making so much money who is currently giving up the production of an average starter. I'm not saying I'm giving up on Ben Simmons just yet, as he is still very young and he could very well evolve his game by developing a jump shot at least, or improve his free throw shooting shooting, but it is starting to look like if Simmons is on your team as the second option, it is close to impossible to win an NBA championship. Morey will even have to consider Doc Rivers potentially being on the hot seat for only one season, which I don't think he would get fired, but Rivers is also another factor regarding the success for this team. I really don't know what the 76ers should do, but in conclusion, the Sixers have many problems to address and they have a clear ceiling to the promised land. But other than that, that will conclude today's video. What do you guys think? Do you guys think Simmons and Rivers are the problem, or do you think something else is the problem? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Make sure you guys like this video and subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. I'm out. Peace.